Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel with myself, Keith, Scott McGill, and Liam Christie. Welcome, lads. Look, it wasn't the result we were hoping for tonight. We were expecting to go to Dingwall and hammer them for 5-0. But you know what? It's a tale of two stories, isn't it? It's a tale of them beating us in the League Cup and then obviously beating us tonight, and then we dare hammered them as well. So Commons will be flying in tonight. I'm going to start with you, Scott. What the hell happened? Where did it start?
Well, mate, see, you're saying there about thinking about going to hammer them. I didn't think we would have hammered them tonight. I thought we'd have just went up, got the 3 points, and came back home. It's 7:30 on a Sunday night. When you ever realistically seen a kick-off like that, yeah? But the first half, we had plenty of chances. We should have took the game to them. Yeah, you've got the one that Christie's darted across to Edward. Edward's not made it. And then you've got the one that Christie's put over the bar. I think that lad is kicking about with a 9-iron on his bits all night. Honest to God.
Rose Ed Christie, eh?
Oh, he plays as if he's kicking about with a 9-iron. Honest to God. I've never seen him keep my bod in. It's so bad. But the thing is, we should have had that in us to take that game to them tonight. And it is, again, it's a set piece that was went against us. How many set pieces are we going to concede for this year? Unbelievable.
Obviously, when Taylor came off, I was like, here we go. Like, he's going to bring Laxall on. Hopefully Laxall can bring a bit of a threat. He had chances, but it's just, you could see it with the team. Like, he's just deflated. I was saying to Liam, I was saying to him, goes, this could be a bit of a bad news because playing very similar midfielders as this diamond. Are you seeing that what happened in Perth? It didn't really work for us in the first half in Perth.
No, it didn't. Basically, I was just gutted that Taylor came off, and when Laxalt came on, shit crossing, he was giving away stupid fouls as well. And as soon as he was giving away, he was putting his hands up as if to say it wasn't me. I'm like, just shut up, man. But basically, Ryan Christie, I was surprised if I put at least one of them away, like at least one of the shots, especially with the open net with the cross. He should have put it away. Like, there was no excuse for that, and if he continues to play that way, I don't see him getting in the Scotland squad.
Do you agree, Scott? Or Christie?
I don't know. It's weird. He's normally plays with a lot of energy, but you're not really seeing it. And I don't see all these players that we've got. They're no bad players. You don't turn a bad player overnight. Like,
these are boys that won championships and cups and all. Like, went on. Some of these players went on unbeaten runs. Like,
definitely. So where is it? It's got to be in the management, and it's got to be in the recruitment that is taking over for the boys that have left. Honest to God,
all I remember tonight is that goal going in and that tablet of Gavin Strachan. That's all I remember for this game. That's the truth.
It's not even that. It's a bit of hard watch. As we're saying there, we're playing with 3 number 10s. We're playing with 3 number 10s in the hole, and there's no width to the team. So everything you're creating is inverted. You've not got anybody really hitting the lines unless you're expecting a fullback to come up and press up to get the ball in. There's no width to the team. It needs sorted. And
his tactics were shocking, like 3 strikers on the bench, and then he just decides to bring 2 of them on. 66 minutes in, Griffith should have been playing, or he should have been playing since the start, or even Klamala. It was shocking. I don't know what he was planning. Like, we weren't going for a European game tonight where you park the whole midfield. It's just the pitch was a shambles. You know what? And I just knew Edward missed a fucking glorious chance. Christie walked on it and passed it on to him, and he scuffed it. Still no excuse for these. These boys should be scoring. We could have been 5 or 6 tonight, and fair play to John Hughes. He organised his team. He went out there and he beat Celtic. As no team is fearless against Celtic anymore. That way they just get stuck in and they hit us with set pieces. If we keep this on and keep going, it's going to be the same shit next season with the defence.
Definitely. Well, I think it has got to do with the recruitment of the team. You're sitting there and you haven't got a winger at the club. The only out-and-out winger you've got is James Forrest, and he's been injured since September. And Club knew he was going to be out for that length of time. How have we not replaced him? How have we not got another left winger to come in that can deliver a ball? You've got Elyounoussi in there. Fair enough. The big man was the top scorer until Edouard took over a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He brings something to the team, but he's not got that creative ability that an out and out winger brings to the team. I think we need to sort that out.
I think when you were saying about the whole Giants Forest, I think that he looked at Jeremy Frimpong to like, look, we'll use him as like a winger, but he couldn't defend for shit though at the same time. So yeah, Liam, you're back here. Well done. I'm going to go through the comments now with people as well. A lot of people are saying obviously Neil Lennon has to walk from this result. I still think they're going to keep him to the end of the season. I know it's ridiculous, but I still think they will.
You're 100% right. They will keep him.
Definitely. Liam, what do you think so far? Anything to take from tonight? Just an absolute shambles. Embarrassing.
Yeah, we were just passing the ball across sideways, passing it backways. We weren't relying on our forwards to get us any momentum. We should have been crossing the ball into the box, but crossing it properly. I seen that Diego Laxalt was running across, right? He had a perfect opportunity to cross it. He just crosses it right over the box for a goal kick. And it's like he should have been crossing it lower, mid range to get to your forwards, rely on your forwards to get to the goals. That's what they're there for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was just really disappointing, and the stupid fouls Laxalt gives away, man. I mean, it just showed how mediocre that player is. You know, I mean, it was.
How is his lad valued at 14 million at one point in his career is beyond me. You know.
Yeah, I mean, once Taylor went off, that was us. We started to go to shit. I mean, because Taylor's been brilliant for us every time he's played, and he's been consistent with his crossing. He showed that before he got injured. He put 2 crosses into the box, but Christie, he should have been putting the chances away. There's no excuse for it.
I'm gonna talk about the goal against us, Scott. No one marking him. Free header, back post.
It looked like we were going half and half zonal marking, half man marking, and nobody knew exactly what they were doing. You've got the boy that scores. Was it White? It comes off of Scott Brown, and it ends up on the back of Ayer. Now you've got Ayer and Welsh there that couldn't deal with the initial ball coming across. That's your 2 centre halves. That's schoolboy stuff. One of the two of them's got to take the lead and go for that. They've got to go and win that ball. There's no excuse for it.
100%. Is it a result? Is a result, Liam, that the club have to come out and apologise tomorrow about the way this season has gone? They should have apologised a long time ago. We discussed this earlier on.
Yeah, I think this is an omen for them to apologise. If they don't apologise tomorrow, but it wouldn't surprise me, because they've took this lockdown, they've took the empty stadium, they've used that to advantage, because they've used it as an objective not to answer to fans, because they don't need to answer to them, because there's not 50,000 fans on their back every week. So, and the club love that. They actually love that they don't need to answer to people, because there's not fans coming in the ground every week. But they've got to remember that it's the season ticket holders that actually pay the club, the board, their salary, and the players their wages, and they're just not. It was like a bounce game at night. I mean, it was just like
it was written in the script, wasn't it? You knew it was either going to be a hammering or we're going to get beaten like that.
Yeah, but I mean, we got beat by a team that's bottom of the table, so that just tells you something. I mean,
I was thinking this, Scott. Right, basically, you go back to the Bradford Cup. These boys played against us. They knew what the sus was. They knew how to score against us at Celtic Park, and they beat us, And then a couple of weeks later, we hammered them. And then we hammered them earlier part of the season. It was going to be a hit and miss tonight, but it's an embarrassing. It goes down as one of the worst defeats ever.
No, definitely. I think the League Cup's more embarrassing, to be honest. That's embarrassing in itself.
But look at the character we're meant to be. We were meant to be going for 6 wins, right? Fair enough. Rangers, they needed 3 more wins, and that was it. Now, 7 points, and it's done and dusted. Look, I don't think if anyone can come onto this page and say, "Oh, keep the faith and have a chance," you need to look at yourself seriously. Does that team don't have a plan B? They don't have a plan A, and Sorrow should have been playing. Scott Brown didn't generate anything. He didn't generate anything at all tonight. You know, he got back when it was getting deep, and that was it. But like, they shouldn't have that type of pressure. Like, they had chances against us tonight, but you know, even Lee Griffiths, the end, that free kick, I was just like, oh jeez. And then Elanu's.
I don't know why Griffiths is insisting on hitting that free kick at the end there. Like, why is he not putting that across? Letting Turnbull put that in the box.
We should have been. Every player should have been up at that. Even the keeper should have been up, going for that at the end of the day. You know, if you're chasing the game. But imagine, like, it was just an absolute disaster. Now people are saying in the comments, put Bruni in charge at the end of the season. Now, Liam, what do you think of that? Now, I don't know if this is a piss take or people are being serious about this.
I just don't get any answer for that, man. I mean, do you put Kennedy in charge at the end of the season if Neil Lennon throws his toys at the pram and leaves? I don't think he's going to leave, but because he's going to be at the end of the summer. I've said that. He's going to be there at the end of the summer because he's not wanting to leave. He's wanting a big payout. That's what he's wanting. He's wanting a big payout. And I don't think the fans are going to send him off like happy now. He should have just left when...
There's been comments there saying that this is the man that cost us 10 in a row. Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, Neil Lennon, like, throughout his player and managerial career, he's always loved the drama. And every week there's drama with Celtic. Every week. And it might sound a bit crazy me saying this, but he'll love being that manager that grossed 10 in a row for 20 years. He'll be like, I know I did. No, he's pure into drama, so...
As a lot of people have said this on many posts and many podcasts, if he's a real Celtic man and he's feeling the pain of losing the title, he would have walked away.
He would have
walked away. What do you think with that, Scott?
To start with, folks saying Scott Brown to be the manager, come on. Brown, who's to say Brown wants to get into management now? Who says he needs that pressure to get in and take this team where we're struggling as it is? That's not an ideal job for Scott Brown. He's never going to want to take that. But Lennon's not going to be the guy to walk about for the next 10 years saying he cost 10 in a row. He'll be the guy that turned around and says that they started it. Well, think about the league titles that wanted to start. That's what he wanted to do. I don't care what anybody says. I think he wanted to start. He started it, and I think he wanted to finish it. But then he's dug himself in too deep, and he's too proud of himself to try and pull himself back out. It was up to the board to get rid of him, and as a collective effort, every single one of them's let us down.
What game do you think he should have been gone by?
Sparta Prague.
Sparta Prague. Liam, what do you think? Sparta Prague.
I would say the League Cup after we count off the League Cup. He should have been away then. Because I mean it was obvious when the fans were throwing stuff, you know, in Celtic Park, and it was obvious like they were giving him a hint, just get out the door. And I didn't agree with what the fans did, but I mean, people are different and people take things different ways. I mean, people take Celtic like really serious. I do as well, but I mean, I wouldn't exactly put myself at risk and go and start a riot and join rioters. I just wouldn't do that. I mean, so I just think that he should have left in. He should have taken the hint. If the fans don't want you, leave.
I think after the Ibrox result, he should have left. But he was optimistic that because the team played quite well, he had something going for him.
But we'd played well up to that point. We'd played well up to the point in New Year that we could have got something. And it's just that football or any sport, it's a confidence game. And the fact that we were all over Rangers in January and then they got away and won the game 1-0 after Beaton gets sent off, our confidence just went right back to nothing. That's what's happened there. But no, he should never have been in charge at that point anyway. He should have been away before it. There's people sitting there in the comments about John Kennedy and that, but Kennedy was a defensive coach when Ronnie Dyler was sitting getting stick for weeks on end.
And Brendan.
I with Brendan Rodgers as well, but mainly Ronnie Dyler. There was people back then that were saying that he shouldn't have been there. and he's lasted 3 managers. How is he still in the dugout?
Liam, what do you think of that? Is it a sympathy thing with John Kennedy that he's still in there?
Yeah, I think so, man. It was a shame what happened to him with his injury, but I think that he's basically giving the club that body language. Well, you need to keep me there because you said I would always have a job here. So he'd play that sympathy vote because I mean, who else would take him? Like if Celtic released him, who else would take him? He wouldn't be in the same salary at Celtic for he is elsewhere because it would be a Championship team, a Division 1 team that would take him. A Premiership team would not take John Kennedy because I mean his coaching it's mediocre, man. I mean it's mediocre.
What do you think of that comment there, Scotty? You were at that game.
Well, that was just showing naivety then as well, wasn't it? That the home game against Copenhagen, but
absolute disaster. Simidovic was just like and as much as Simidovic was bad, he would actually done a job tonight. He would actually shown a bit of passion.
Everybody has a bad night, a bad game. Simidovic had it then, which is a high-profile match at the end of the day. But I don't know if it's been. See, they're talking about coronavirus costing Celtic, but see if we got to run away with that league at the end of last year, who's to say that they're still being the job? You don't know what would have happened. You don't know if Rangers could have came back. You don't know if Gerrard would have still been in a job, depending on how far away we ran away with it, because we were playing well at that point.
What do you think? What do you think it is? This comment here.
Well, I mean, I think that, to be honest, Leigh Griffiths is he's going to be away at Hibs next season, without a doubt, man. I don't think Steven Gerrard would have been in a job last year if it wasn't due to COVID. I think that they kept him there, but I mean, if COVID never happened, he would have been sacked because he went 2 seasons without winning anything. So, in a way, it's kind of overturned. I think that we've beat ourselves in a way, but I mean, Rangers are undefeated this year, and we've got to answer a lot of questions about ourselves. We've got to take a good look in the mirror and see what the problem is, because getting beat 1-0 at Ross County, even at Dingwall, is not good enough, man. It's just not good enough.
Bottom of the league as well. That's the thing. Like bottom of the league, just absolutely shocking. It's not even a case where I'm feeling furious. I feel like it was bound to happen anyway. Bound to happen because the way the season's gone. Like I know. Obviously, a team that's near top of the league always have an upset. They have a result that they get upset in once a season or twice a season. But this has been going on for numerous of times. It's what the biggest fear is, as like the realistic side of this is a lot of fans are not going to renew their season books because of the way they've been treated this season and these results. Well,
the thing is, obviously, like we've got a few young fans that are more likely watching this podcast that haven't experienced this type of thing. I went through the 90s with Celtic and we were like 4th in the league at one point. And I do sympathise with the guys. I mean, they more or less want to come on the show kind of like to make themselves feel better because they want to hear our opinions as well, which is fair enough. I mean, I'd done the same thing. I was watching the telly, listening to Clyde SSB when I was younger. That wasn't exactly the best idea, but it never cheered me up. It just made me feel worse. But it's good that in this day and age we've got Celtic podcasts that we don't need to listen to that shit,
Exactly. We're going to go to Scott about this. Scott,
mate,
how many do you think they'll lose out in regards to revenue with renewals? Do you think we're looking at about 25 to 30% of people that won't renew with season books?
See, the thing is, a lot of the fans came along when Brendan Rodgers came. That top tier was shut before he came.
Yeah,
they're the happy-go-lucky fans. Who's to say they would even be back anyway? They had the waiting list. The waiting list was booked out for this year. There's people on it. The waiting list will be empty come next year.
58,000
season
books. this season because obviously you couldn't get into the people are buying the passes and stuff like that. The streaming service is a joke. People have complained about. Look, if you go back to the Ross County game in a pre-season when the things are shambles, and then Hibs, and then went on, and many podcasts have said it as well. You know, you could see the jersey sales being down next season as well. And the biggest fear is we don't even know where we're going to have if we're going to have a captain. We don't know who's going to be the captain next season. Is it going to be McGregor? Is Scott Brown going to stay on? A lot of people want Scott Brown to move on, retire, or even go into capacity at the club. I don't agree with people saying Scott Brown should be the man to take this team forward to the end of the season. To be honest with you, I know he knows the players inside out. Fair enough, he's been there a long time, great servant, but he doesn't have the coaching capacity. You know, if you really want to be realistic here, let Kendi walk away, let Strachan walk away, and give it to McManus, and you know, to the end of the season. You know, he's a young capacity at the club. Give it to McManus. You know, why not? Like, you've nothing else to lose at this rate. Do you agree with that, Nemo?
Yeah, I would say that Steve McManus, he was a brilliant captain for Celtic. He led us to some silverware, and he's also showed his managerial experience lately, and I think he would be good. But Scott Brown, that'd be a bad idea because he's not getting any managerial experience yet. That's not to say he wouldn't have.
I think fans will turn on him too quick if the results keep going worse and worse, and that's the honest truth, you know.
I wouldn't want to see that with Bruni. I mean, he's been a hero for us for years. We even gave him a good testimonial, and so for the fans to turn on him, I would hate to see that. I also seen the comments there, Stevie Clark from Ange after the Euros. I can't see that because I see Stevie Clark as being the equivalent of Craig Brown. I think he's going to try and at least lead Scotland to the World Cup as well.
Exactly, I think he'll got to stay on.
I've seen him there for years.
He's had a good season as well. Good group for the World Cup. Scott, what do you think? This Steve Clark, like, he's good enough for Celtic, but he won't take it because of the background and the abuse he's got. You know, I've listened to podcasts that are currently family members of him are Celtic fans and stuff like that. I can't see him coming.
No, mate, I think we've got to start, as I spoke about last time I was on, is we need to start with a young manager that's going to have a vision, somewhere to go with it. Because this team's needing rebuilt. Probably everything that Brendan Rodgers has built up to this point is away under Neil Lennon. The full ethos of the team has totally changed. You can tell. You talked about Laxalt earlier on. Laxalt came into the team and he was like a buzz bomb. It was everywhere in the park. And now it doesn't look like he's got the energy to run up and down the line.
He's not bothered because, you know, there's no hunger, there's no silverware there from at the end of the season.
But
he's just
it looks like fitness, mate. It looks like fitness to me. You've got a Yeti there who isn't meant to be fit. Griffiths isn't meant to be fit. How many players? It took Sorrow how long to get involved in the team? Same with Klamala. Surely that's to do with the management. Shouldn't it take football players so long to get... That's over a year for Klamala, and he's not in the first team. Surely it takes football players 2 months to get up to a standard where they need to be at least playing.
If these players were injured, and you can say it's a fitness problem, but look at Lee Griffiths. Lee Griffiths since the summer, and he's still not fully match fit.
Definitely.
And you said it's down to the so-called culture, the coaching. You know,
the mismanagement. It's all mismanagement.
People are saying Frank Lampard for the job. No, I don't think Frank Lampard will come to Celtic. I think we're in for a big struggle here, to be honest, to get a marquee name in with the way this club is going, because whoever we interview tomorrow, they need to sit down with them players and see who actually wants to play next season, who wants to be at the club next season, and sell them. Say, look, we're on a new project. We're going to push for Champions League football. We're going to push for Europa League football. The current squad we have and the squad that we could have in the summer, we're not good enough to be in the Champions League, and that's the facts.
No. Wow.
What's the point? What's the point of us going into the Champions League, collecting the 30 million, and getting hockeyed in the Champions League?
Yeah, I would just hurt the confidence of the players. I mean, if we were to play PSG and get beat 7-0 again, I mean, where does that leave with players for the rest of the season? They would just realise, all right, this is showing how shite we are. But the thing is, we spoke about fitness, Scott. Basically, Lennon's first run, after the Dyla took over, he says these players need to lose weight because they're not fit enough. Like when I took over, they've like lost this much kilograms between them. So that tells you that Lenny doesn't know how to get the best out of them. But Rodgers did. So did Dyla at the start. But I mean, Rodgers was brilliant with that team. He was really strict with them, and that's what you need. That's what you need as a manager. You need to make sure your players are fully fit.
It's two different teams though that we've got. Like if you compare the Lennon team for the first time around to this team that he's got now, the team then was full of battlers. We've not got that in this side. There's no that. These boys want to play nice football. There's no really a battler in the side. That's
Oyer, that's about it. And he didn't even do his runs tonight because the pitch was in bits and we were just struggling.
I was a shocking pitch. You know, it was, but I mean that's not an excuse. We should be able to play in any pitch. See, as long as it's got grass and white lines and two sets of nets. Mm-hmm. They're professional football players. They should be able to handle that.
You're looking at you're talking about the pitch there. The pitch is the same for both teams. Mm-hmm. That's what the frustrating thing is. It's the same for both teams. So who really cares? You've got to get your finger out and play. But you're talking about a new manager coming in, Keith. A lot of the players are going to be missing, but next year you've got so many going back out on loan, back to where they came from.
4 players back.
And that they're basically they're the in and out of the team. They're mainstays in the team for this season. You've got Kenny who's going to leave at right back. You've got Duffy at centre half. You've got El Yunusi if we don't take up his option to keep him. There's a lot of players missing, but it's going to be a major rebuild for whoever comes in.
I agree with Arthur there. It reminds me of Mulby and St Mirren game. Really does. Like I haven't seen his post-match interview. I'm sure he's going to go on to Celtic TV and say it's not good enough. We're going to look at it. The same excuses. I'd say 95% of Celtic fans now are saying he needs just to walk away. Just make the decision before you leave before the summer. Make the decision. Just relieve him of his duties. Pay him whatever he's left on his contract. Let Strachan go home. Let Kendi go home. And just get someone temporary into the end of the season. If it has to be a Gordon Strachan, if it has to be a McManus, if it has to be a Sean Maloney, if you want to give Sean Maloney the 10 games or whatever left games, they're going to see who actually wants to play for him going into next season. Do it. Like this, you're nothing else to lose at this rate. You know, it's becoming like a civil war all season between Celtic fans, certain Celtic fans. I was a pro Lennon fan for a good half of the season. I think when I lost the pro Lennon was when Aberdeen, the 3-3 game. I was just like, look, enough's enough now. We can't do anymore. Like tonight, he went on the chair, having a moan, arms folded. Woody has 3 strikers on the bench. 3 strikers on the bench.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've not seen that interview yet, right? But I'd definitely put a sweepstake on with you guys that he'd definitely say we started off well. He said that a million times, man. During the interview, it's like, we started off well. And it's like, that doesn't count for nothing. You've got to play well the full game.
Whereas we're as bad as a team, then the way his Adidas bleeding jacket's fucking falling apart. The logo on it. That's how bad we're literally we're peeling away as a club because our fans are literally.
Oh, there's our pal Red Scotland that's always on the channel all the time. He says Lennon's after-match interview will make you want to be sick. Same old rubbish. Well, I've got a bit of hangover, so I don't want to be sick again.
That's it. Well, to be honest with you, I think you need to open a bar this right. You know, go to the brewery and get sorted.
I've got 3 bottles of beer in the fridge. I think I'm just going to tan them off.
Like what? I don't think anything will happen tomorrow. I really don't think. I think it's the same drama we get every Monday. We're going to be moaning and we're going to be saying Lennon out. He's going to go into the press conference on Tuesday and have it say, we've been working hard this week. We've been working hard. We want to fix it together. The same clutter of shit. You know, as I said, Scott goes back to saying he in his head, he wants to be the man to lead Celtic to 10. Yes, he done 1, 2, 3, and then 8 and 9, and he got us some good moments. I've said this many times, but he needs to walk away now before it gets really, really bad. You know, it's like, you know, majority of fans are torn against him. As you said there, Liam, younger generation of fans haven't felt the seasons of finishing second place, not winning trophies, you know, being shocking in Europe. And if he's still in charge by the end of the season, and if they're looking at keeping him on in any capacity, people will be like, Jesus, I'm sure a lot of people have already written their emails tonight saying, I won't be renewing next season. And I know people are on this saying, well, if one person doesn't renew, another person will come in and take that season ticket. Well, if it keeps going the way it is, the numbers will go down by 25 to 30%. And it could be a case that the top stand again will go back to the Ronnie Doyle days.
Yeah, see, even if Celtic were to do something to convince the fans, like take £100 off the season book for next year, like the fans wouldn't even come. The fans wouldn't even buy it. Even £100 below, they still wouldn't buy it. I mean, because the team and the board have not convinced us to buy like the season books next season. So they're like, no, I'm giving up a season book. I reckon about at least over 10,000 fans are going.
I will not be surprised, honestly. I'd not be surprised. I'm going to go to Scott about this. If he was to relieve his duties tomorrow, I would not be surprised to do it by a statement. They wouldn't come out and say, okay, Neil, thank you very much for what you've accomplished in your 2 terms as a manager. Like, Lawwell won't step up to the game and go on television in the boardroom, him and Neil, like the way the old-fashioned ways they used to do in football, the way that should be done. We need to see clarity. You need to see clarity, and Statement FC is not good enough.
They've not got anybody to answer to, though, Keith. That is the main thing. We're on podcasts, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook complaining about it, but they can turn a blind eye at it because
there's banners outside Celtic Park. You know, there's going to be a banner out tomorrow. I don't know what's the Green Brigade or the boys are going to make, but there's going to be something productive being thrown.
The board's just going to come out with the blinkers on. They're not going to pay attention. They've done it all season. They've done it since we got hammered at home for Sparta Prague, and since we got put out for Ferencváros, and mate, they've not got anybody to answer to, so they don't really care. I'm not. It's a lie saying that they don't care, but they obviously do care because they wouldn't be in the job to this point. They wouldn't have won so many trophies up to now.
Look at Ian Banker's statement to the Paul on Celtic Fan TV. He's like, we're going to review the financials and structure of the club and then make a decision on the managerial. Like, I think realistic, I think they're finding it hard to sell this to a manager that fans want, like an Eddie Howe or a Ralph, whatever, Rannick. I think they're finding it hard, if they even considering. Look what happened with Neil Lennon, Liam. Neil Lennon was given the job after the treble. They had many applications over that 2 or 3 months when he was in the caretaker charge to hire someone to be at a level at Brendan Rodgers, and he's just like, feck it, you got the job, you're in the shower. You got the job, and that was it.
Yeah, I was surprised that because I thought that after Brendan Rodgers left, they would want a manager with Champions League experience. Neil Lennon has Champions League experience. We beat Barcelona 2-1, amazing result for the club. But at the same time, they wanted somebody that was a well-known name that big players would play for. So. To bring in Neil Lennon, they were just saving money because they knew that he was just going to come in straight away because obviously he lost his job at Hibs, didn't
he? He did, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, like, he was looking for a job. So they just went, Neil, do you want back in again? He's like, he took it with open arms because, I mean, we were the champions at the time. So he was like, fair play to him. He was like, all right, I've got a chance to win trebles. I've got a chance to make history. He didn't make history, but no other Scottish club has won 10 in a row. So at least we have won 2 9 in a row.
I'm gonna go back to the Ibrox when we got beaten by Rangers at Ibrox, that caretaker season, a couple of weeks before we won the treble. And his attitude when we got beaten, it's like he didn't give a shit. Yep. And that's when the bells started to me. Like, yeah, he did show passion when we beat Hearts in the final. He was on his knees and he was like, this is unbelievable. But I want people to look at this, right? there's a video clip on YouTube. PLZ Soccer done this with Neil Lennon back in 2016. This was literally the day after we got beaten by Rangers in the Scottish Cup semi-final. Watch Neil Lennon. He's obviously piled the pounds on. Pierre says to him, what would make you a candidate for the job now? And he's like, well, I've learned the experience of being at Bolton and when times go bad, and I know for a fact if I came back into that club, I'd get players playing, I'd attract some good players. Watch it. It's full of bullshit. An absolute bullshit. And watch it. So, Scott, where does it go? Where do you go from this? Like, what do you do from this? Like,
mate, I can't see him getting sacked tomorrow. I don't think it'll happen. He'll be here to May. But then you're looking at me. Look at it in a positive sense. You're sitting there with a new chief executive coming in. You're going to have a free role for a manager. You can go and get whoever you want. Shoot for the stars. Go get who you want in. Realistically, we're financially sound. We're a good club for that. So who's to say that we can't go and get somebody that's top level, top bracket, an elite manager? How not? Go for it.
That's it. But at the same time, as I said this to Liam last week, you bring in a so-called top manager or even an average manager, and they fail with the first huddle, not getting into the Champions League. The fans are going to start turning on them. Look what happened with Gordon Strachan, with Batistrava. The fans were turning on him. They're like, he's not going to do jack shit this season, you know. But yes, we won the League Cup that year, and we won the league.
The Strachan one was a bit different when you're going away to Bratislava and getting beat. Was it 5-1?
Mm-hmm.
We got beat, and
I was at the home game.
So was I'm sure we hit the post and put numerous chances wide. We did. We hit the ball.
Hartson did, yeah.
I remember that.
Right, I want to say to people that are watching, there's 264 people watching us on the 3 platforms. So if you can do me a little favour, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just type in "Come on the Hoop Celtic," give us a subscribe. Gone for 5,000. Big news when I hit 5,000, and it won't be me taking the manager's job before anyone asks. Could be Paul the Tim. Paul the Tim could be in for it. You never know at this rate. No, he won't walk away from it, and it could be a case that the Railings might go back up at Celtic Park. That you might see more banners being put up. You see, this is where the Celtic Trust have to come in and start intervening again and start doing these protests, because doing peaceful protests, make an example, because I'm sure it's something planned anyway, because with these around the corner from season renewals.
Well, the peaceful protest...
They don't have to... Franker needs to walk away from it as well.
Yeah, the peaceful protest, I'm all for it, because I remember seeing it and they were actually cheering the players into the stadium. And that's what you like to see, because you're sure they're still passionate about the club, but they want something done. But the protest after that League Cup game, obviously, that was just uncalled for. It was just people acting like yobs, and just throwing shit. And it's like, obviously, the players were shook up by that, because some of them came in thinking, what have I got myself into here? Paul Slady
for manager, you do a better job anyway. You dress better than Neil Lennon. Anyway, Lennon looks bleeding homeless all the time, wearing the same jacket, peeling the bits.
No, Slady's immaculate, man. He's a hero.
That's it. No, I have the fear. There's two fears I have. They're gonna keep him on some capacity next season. I don't know what it's gonna be. As I said, I wouldn't be surprised he'd be number 2 next season. I really would not be surprised.
Well,
but Dominic McCoy needs to step in now and start getting a plan together. After watching that tonight, how could you ignore that shit?
He's still got his other job to do though. He's still in with Scotland. The Six Nations are still on. He's got that to look after now. It's not up to him at the end of the day right now. His job starts in the summer when Longwell leaves, and he'll be passing over. When that happens, that's when Lennon will go, because he's not.
I'll take him on loan next season if he's willing. Divock Origi.
Well, I just think that we need to look at young players, especially players with SPFL experience.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at players from Hibs, Aberdeen, and maybe there's a couple of good players.
Motherwell.
Yeah. So there's a few good players I would take, and even championship players, maybe, because I'm sick of getting loan players. You need players with permanent deals. At least
let's go for the other first. Why not? Get Al in, do a job.
Aye.
At least he knows what the crack is. Scott Shankland, would you go for him?
Nah, not a chance. Not at our level. There's better players out there for us. Look at we have brought in Edward. Fair enough, he's had a terrible season this year. But he's still top scorer. He's not even had a terrible season. He's just not hit the heights what he has before, which shows you how good.
The service was shocking tonight. I know he got a ball passed on the plate to him, and he could have finished it. I know Ian Crowe turned around and goes, "Oh well, he was in the back of the net, but the ball wasn't in the back of the net." But that's what Celtic have been like all season. And we need a good defensive coach. And people are saying bring in this manager, but you're gonna bring in a good coaching staff. That's what we need. We need a good defensive coach. Mm-hmm. Bring Johan back as a defensive coach.
So on you go, mate. Sorry.
But Big Johan would be a good defensive coach. I mean, he was before. But you're saying about Edward there. He's still top goal scorer, but only by a couple of goals. But the night he was falling out of his own feet a few times. It just wasn't like a couple of times. He's falling out of his own feet a few times and falling in his arse. So that's just not good enough, especially against the bottom side.
The confidence is zapped right out, Edward. That's what it is. Look at him when he has been confident. What a player he's been. He's been unbelievable for us. What is it? 3 years he's been here. 4 years.
Yeah.
And we've definitely had the best of him. And it would be time for. I'm not saying I would want him to go in the summer, but it is when he will want to go. He will want to leave in the summer. We have had the best of him, but you need to get the best deal for him as well. Another thing we need to do is we need to start looking into our academy. We need to start bringing better players through the academy. It's there to be used. Look at you look at an Ajax system. They use the academy players all the time, and that's how they end up in the semi-final of Champions League. I'm not saying that's how we could get there or what level, but you need to start using the players a bit more. Give the younger players a chance.
The thing about the academy is I think they've actually got the fingers right at them. Obviously, the way they forload the 18s and stuff like that. That's what many podcasts have said. They fear the youth because some players don't feel like they'll never get a chance to set, and they'll never get the chance to play. Like, obviously, what's his name? Cameron Harper played against Hibs, and he was literally got thrown abuse all over social media. That one game,
The social media is unforgiving, though. You can write something within a second, and that's up there for folk to see. Then
that's it. Hopefully they will. Looking at the prospect of Dembele, he could have played. And Neil Lennon was asked this last week. He's like, when are these players going to get a chance? They're training, which the first thing is like, I don't want to throw them in too soon. I don't want to throw them in and get them all overexcited. Well, nothing to lose now. Throw them all in.
No, definitely.
Do you agree with that, Nemo?
Yeah, I think that we've got nothing to lose this season, man. I would say that Welsh has stepped up. I mean, he doesn't put a foot wrong, that boy. I'm saying there's only a few players that are playing shit just now. Christie, Warshit and others. I just don't know what's wrong with that boy. But what I would say is bring in some more players for the academy. I mean, we have got nothing to lose. I mean, throw some of the academy players in against Rangers because we've got really nothing to lose, man. I mean, there is some really good talent at the academy, and we should use them before it's too late. I mean, it's Lennon saying it's too early. No, I mean, look at Kieran Tierney. He came in for a young age, and look at him now.
That's when you see the best of your youth team, though.
Should have nurtured the players like the way Tierney was Izagirre's replacement. We don't have that. We have what? Welch, that's about it. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead, sorry.
But the likes of when you're under pressure and you are using your youth academy, that's when you find players do come through your team. Happens all the time with other clubs at the top level. You need to try these boys against adults.
5 players that we've been through in the last 10 years. 5 players, that's it. That can come to my mind. Forrest, Tierney, McGregor, Welch,
You need to start using your academy more because they boys are playing against boys their own age.
Hazard, and that's it.
These boys are playing against boys their own age. They're not getting to test themselves against men. How can you not get them into the team they're out to try them out? Folk are talking about Dembele. Dembele is getting spoke about as being he's too tiny to get in the team. That is what I heard the last time I heard something about him. But if you're not giving him a chance against grown men, what chance are you going to have?
Exactly.
You need to try the boy out. Who's to say that? Well, he's a small winger. You don't need to play high balls to a small winger.
But why was he on the bench then? Why was he on the bench then in the Scottish Cup final?
Definitely.
And then he plays the previous week. I think it's down to man management, bad coaching, no confidence. These boys are going off and going. We lost 2 good players, 2 youth prospects that went to Bayern Munich. I know a lot of people might say, he may not be, but we had a chance to get Hickey back. He would have been a good prospect, as a project.
I do rate him really highly. Hickey is a really good player. There's a few good players out there, but I mean, we do need a good, decent scouting system, and we haven't got that now. I'm sorry to say it, but we haven't got it now. I mean, we haven't had it for the past 2 years, scouting wise. You know what I mean? There's just not been any.
We got Marvin Comper. That's won more leagues than the new Rangers. So don't worry about it. Things could be worse.
He was world class, man. Edges, stuff he provided.
That's it. He's more medals than Rangers, so they can get off the high horse there anyway with that 55. Marvin Comper, CSC.
Basically, see the logo at the top of the screen. Basically, that's my mate Geo Thompson. It's his website. If you go to geoart.bigcartel.com, you'll be able to get Celtic memorabilia prints. They've got a discount on this month, and basically, if you go to checkout, you'll get stuff half price till the end of the month. So all you need to type in is capital letters is "fuck COVID" and you'll get your half price discount. I mean, I've got a couple of the pictures at the back of me there. So
good stuff. I'm going to say to obviously the people that are Scottish are looking forward to the summer, to Euros. I'm a bit lucky. Sooner it comes quicker for you to get over this clutter of shite this season. We're still going to watch every game. We're still going to watch Celtic, and I know that someone put a comment in, Scott, saying you can't boycott Celtic, but there is a way that you can make an example by not renewing to capacity. There has been a couple of CSCs in Ireland that said that they're cutting down on their portion of renewing their capacity because of the way they've been treated this season.
I'll be renewing my season ticket when it comes round, but I won't be renewing it until the final day. That's the only way you can leave the message that if everybody kind of done something along the lines. But again, as I said to you, there is going to be folk that won't renew anyway because they are happy clappers. They are there for when Brendan Rodgers came in. It was a big name. It was a big draw for a manager. I think we could do that again though. If we do go for somebody, shoot for the stars. We have got the money. Why not? You need a good manager in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's that thing that the good times aren't going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
When you support a football club, you are going to go through tough times.
Who would have thought literally 9 years ago that we would have went on to do 9 in a row, quad trebles, good European results, 69 games unbeaten, hammering them many times as well. I think we've got a lot of the platter, to be honest with you, too much of the platter, And
there was people saying that when Rangers went down leagues, people says, Scottish football is going to be terrible. What did we do? We beat Barcelona. I mean, how's that terrible? We beat Barcelona and the clubs.
Must go away,
Yeah. 2-1 against Barca, you just can't write that. It was one of the best nights of my Celtic life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
As I'm gonna put this quote there, and I don't care. Form is temporary, but liquidation is permanent.
Damn right.
That's That's the fact. So whoever's watching from a different club, watching my channel, I appreciate he's watching the channel, appreciate the comments he's putting in, but at the end of the day, we don't tax corrupt. That's all I want to say. We don't tax corrupt, we don't do that stuff.
Keith, as Liam just says there, though, talking about this isn't going to be forever, but Celtic is forever. We're here. We've no went anywhere.
No.
1888.
Yeah, I mean, like, no matter what happens to Celtic, see, even if we get relegated, God forbid, I'd still follow Celtic. I mean, I'd go down to Green at Morton's pitch and cheer on Celtic, because it's my club. It's always been my club. So, I mean...
It could be wars, it could be a summer's day at Berwick, starting from the bottom, So think about that. There's worse things, like literally BT milking the system to get Rangers on against Berwick, like, Jesus, desperate times, But look at, all I can say is a bit of banter. They were a better team this season. They just had they were hungrier for it. They done it. And it took them, 33 months for Gerrard to get himself together and actually build a team. They might go on and do it next season if we're not up to the standards. And this is a kick up the arse for Celtic to realise, right, if you want to be hungrier, like what happened when we got beaten by Hearts, we came back and we done a double treble. Do you remember that, Scott?
Aye, definitely.
That's it. That's the joy. That's the joys of football. You lose horrible, and you come back strong.
At the end of the day, they've played well this season.
They have, and I'd admit, like, they've been better. They have a better mentality. They're a better unit players. They're stronger. They've realised they've been shot down so many times. Their arse got served on the floor by Celtic so many times, and they've came back from it. It's what I can say is to Celtic fans. You were saying renewing next season. It's going to be rebuilding season. I can't see Celtic doing it next season. I really can't see it doing it next season. All I can say is whoever comes in, back them. Back the squad, whoever it is. Back the squad. If it's a case that's going to be another second place next season, or it's a case that we're in for a competition and we win a domestic cup and we do well in the Europa League, whatever it is, it's going to be an adventure. We're not going to come back and bounce straight. That's why you get these passionate fans that expect that stuff.
Yes, we're going to need to start again though. For Scott, who's to say that we're going to keep your man? Is it Nicky Hammond? Who's to say? Is that?
I'm here.
Sorry, mate. Who's to say that Nicky Hammond's not going to go as well? Because he's ahead of recruitment now. Who's to say that we're going to end up needing to get somebody else in to replace him? We had your man Park. He was the one that was bringing in all the big names, the Wanyamas, the Van Dijks. That's what we've been missing.
I was saying in the last, last show because I've done like two so far. I was saying the night. So I think it was last week, before I'd just said it's going to be a completely new backroom staff. Is going to be refreshed completely. I think when the new chairman comes in, he's just going to wipe out the full of the backroom staff and bring in new backroom staff in, just make a fresh start. I think that's what's going to happen.
Definitely. And the director of football needs to be brought in. Dominic McCoy needs to sit down and say, look, I hope you had your eyes. There's talk of we're going to be going for some Huddersfield director of football, previous Huddersfield, and then Man City. That dealt with jobs in Man City as well, a Donegal lad. But look, let's get it done. Like they're the big things that need to be done. And then I don't think Neil Lennon be relieved of the duties, as we all agree here. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So that's it. Right, folks, we're going to leave it there. I just want to say thank you very much to everyone that watched tonight. I just want to say a massive thank you to Scott and Liam coming on. That's it. You take it like a champ, and that's the end of it. We're still champions for the time being. So we could say that quote, but still champions for the time being. So we'll 9 years of it, but at the end of the day, 9 years. It took a portion of other fans to come out of the cave after 9 years and learn how to use a phone and start pressing. 9 years. Jeez, fair pledges. Just I'm not ready.
Oh.
All right, he's cut.
He's away again.
Yeah, well, Yeah, it has been a good 9 years. It's been good while it lasted, but
Exactly.
he's come back when again.
That's it. Yeah, the internet's a bit on the internet's on a bit of a mad one.
Who's running your internet, Keith? Is it Peter Lowell?
Yeah, version.
He's gone off again. He's gone off again.
Listen, they didn't get taking some notes down.
Oh, for God's sake.
Okay, tonight, folks, and thank you very much for watching, and give us a wee subscribe as well.
Thanks